Welcome back, everybody. I'm selling my Iharvest, and I have some things I need to go over with. Before I get into that, I'm going to show some of the basics on how this system works for people that don't know this system. The system comes with 5 tiers. So this is the basic level right here, and I added the 2 more levels to it so you can see how tall it is. I'm 5'10", and I say this is every bit of 6 foot, so it's a big unit. And while I'm sitting here holding on to it, I'm going to show you, this is supposed to be bolted to the wall. If it's not, it can has a potential of falling over, because there's no way it really attaches to itself around the base at the bottom. And while I'm thinking about it, you're probably wondering why it's this color. I put aluminum, it's almost like a mylar tape on this unit, which works absolutely fantastic, but without it, this unit can get a lot of algae in it. The plastic's on the thin side, it lets light through. So with using the factory lights, which these are here, it's not a huge concern, but I ran this system with a much larger light. And if you're just using these lights, they really don't cover the system very good. I'm going to turn one of them on here so you can see. They're not super bright. They might look bright on camera, but they're not super bright. That's one. The nice thing about it, if you're into this, you can actually move the light further away, closer to it. So when you have just seedlings in it, you can move them really up close if you want. One of the good things about this system is it has these built-in trellises, which I might have put them on upside down. You can put them either way, they flip both ways. So they really help support the plants really good. So this system works fantastic for peppers and larger plants. I've had my pepper plants, I've had in the top row, and they're hitting my 8-foot ceiling. So they're at least 2 foot tall, my pepper plants were. And when I pulled them out of the system, the roots probably came all the way down to probably down about this far. So the whole inside of this unit is hollow. So the water pumps up from the bottom through the tube, and then it goes both ways at the top. And there's little holes in there so it can trickle down through the whole system. So the roots have room in here to grow in the whole chamber here, which is probably about 4 inches thick. One thing I don't like about this system is one of the main reasons I'm selling it. I was trying to grow a lot of lettuce in this system, and if you don't harvest like pretty much daily, it just gets too thick. The spots are too close together, but you know me, I can't run a system and not have every single spot filled. And trying to blow a fan on it, it's like blowing a fan just out of a wall. You can't get air actually to go through all the lettuce leaves and through all the plant well. So if you have something like, say, the garden system, hydroponic system, it's a bunch of tubes where there's plenty of room around each plant for air to flow around to keep the plants from getting too much moisture on the leaves. So for this system, what I would grow in this system would be bigger plants. Peppers, some tomatoes. Plants like bok choy, top soy are good because it's separate leaves and they're not really close together, so you still get good airflow. Another nice thing about this system, it actually runs a filter in this system. So as the water's coming back down from the top, it goes through here and catches anything. So if you have any roots or anything, they get caught in here. So you can dump it out, clean it. And I actually upgraded this filter. I can't remember what it was. The filter's in my house. It's like a 2-micron filter, so it catches like pretty much everything, so it really keeps the tank nice and clean. And another thing I like about this, in the bottom of the unit where all the water and nutrients get stored, I customized the hose in here so I can pull the hose out to drain the system. Then I can turn the pump on and it'll just pump the liquid out of the hose into, say, a 5-gallon bucket, some other kind of container. For these lights, since I added 2 extra units, they're made to be about right here. Here's the height they're made to be at. But the problem is, they ain't gonna hit the top 2. So they do have, there's a hole in this one here where you can buy more lights and make it taller. But even with making both of these lights taller, you're still not gonna have fantastic light coverage over this whole unit. This is a pretty wide unit for 2 lights. You'd really prefer to have 3 lights on this system. So you'd have to buy, for a perfect setup, 3 lights across and another one taller and possibly even stronger lights. These are not a whole lot of watts on these lights. But for cleaning this system and maintaining it, it's really, really easy, really good system. Now to compare this to something, I am selling this system for $400. It's exactly what I have in it after buying this unit for $200. I bought the original system for $200. I bought 2 more tiers that were, I can't remember what they were, close to another $200. And by the time I put the Mylar tape on it, the custom pumping in it, I had like right around $400 in it. So I'm selling it for $400. And what I bought instead, I bought this, how many levels is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tier. I bought a 7-tier lettuce grow with no lights for $300. So right now I have $100 less in this system than in this system, but I have no lights. So to buy the factory lights for this system, you're talking $700 bucks. It ain't gonna happen. I ain't spending $700 bucks on some lights. So I'm gonna do some DIY lights. I already have them. Other people have done them in the past. And actually I'm gonna make a whole video on building these lights for people that wanna do it. I will have $100 in my light system for this unit, which will be mounted on the top. And I'm going to do it 4 lights coming all the way down. I'm going to use 4-foot lights. So for $100, I'll have this lights, framing, and everything done. So I'll have right at $400 in this unit, or I could have this unit for $400. I don't know what most people would prefer, but this one's nice because it can go up against the wall. Look at it. It should probably be up against the wall. It's a little shaky. This one's just shaky right now because there's no water in it. This one's, if you hold it flat, the base ain't moving, but it's not attached anyway. It just sits on top of itself. And this one, if I want to, I can easily take off the DIY lights and toss the thing outside in the summertime. So that's nice. For pumps, they both pretty much use the exact same pumps and the exact same timers. I was running both these in my basement on the exact same timers. I'd run them 5 minutes on for the pump and like 15-20 minutes off. I tried all different kinds of different settings on the pumps and it really don't matter as long as the plant's roots do not dry out. Especially strawberries. If strawberry plant roots dried out, they're dead instantly. Something like peppers and tomatoes can take a little bit of it. Lettuce can take a little bit. Strawberries, never let those roots dry out. They'll be instantly dead. And trust me, I've bought hundreds and hundreds of bare root strawberries for testing. I've actually grown strawberries in both these units, peppers, tomatoes, lettuce. These two both work a lot alike. They're both, this one's also hollow in the middle, like this one is, so the roots can grow all the way through the system. It's just different how the water's channeled in this one. So say it's something like strawberries, your crowns will not get wet. So for strawberries, this is definitely a better unit. But with this unit, when I was doing strawberries, I had a big, massive, I was hitting it with like 200 some watts LED light. I had a $450 LED light I was using to grow my strawberries. Then this unit, you can't really add super strong lights unless you do 4 of them on the side like what I'm doing, but you'd have to buy better ones than the $85 lights that I will be using. As for the lettuce grow system here, for like lettuces and stuff, when it gets really full, compared to Iharvest, I didn't like because you can't really blow a fan on it real well because it's a flat system. On the lettuce grow, just the shape of them, how it's designed, you don't really get the moisture issues because the plants are more properly spaced apart from each other. The plants just seem to have a lot more room just because how it's a rounded shape. So I don't feel I have, for lettuce, this thing's absolutely amazing. I totally had one blown up with, it just seemed like I was getting pounds and pounds of lettuce off of one of these units in a week. It was just absolutely crazy how much it can produce. The one thing I don't like about this system is why most people don't buy this system, because they don't want to grow lettuce. And this thing is called the lettuce grow. It shouldn't be called the lettuce grow. That's that's the main reason I never bought this system when I was first researching hydroponic systems. It's called the lettuce grow. Who needs to grow 30 spots of lettuce? You don't realize you can grow all kinds of other stuff in these systems. I have two more of these systems in my basement right now growing. I have a 7-foot with, not a 7-foot, I have a 7-tier with lights and a 6-tier with lights. My 7-tier with lights has, it's all pepper plants, it's crazy. And the other one, my 6-tier, is basically all tomato plants. So I do have 2 more of these units downstairs already, and I'm gonna also build this one up because these are my favorite systems. They're built like a tank. The materials on them is really thick. Like on this one, I had to put the tape on it to prevent algae. This one, you don't get it at all. You might get a little bit of nutrients built up on these cracks here, but if I was really concerned about that, I'm sure I could like put a tad bit of silicone on the inside or something. I was getting some build up on the lower level. Actually, this bottom crease down here on my one lettuce grow. So I actually went inside the system and bought some food grade silicone and silicone around the whole inside of it. I mean, most of these units, just how they're designed, they don't think of every little thing when they design them because I'm pretty picky with my systems. You can see this one. This one's this is actually taller than the Iharvest is. So about right here, probably about 6 foot. So this one's probably 6.5 foot. Now with the lettuce grow, since I'm gonna be using DIY lights, I ain't gonna have enough plant supports to support my bigger plants. So I will not be using this system for peppers, tomatoes, big plants. So I want a bunch of small plants in this system, so you could do lettuce or anything like that. What my plan is since I don't need any more greens or peppers or tomatoes or anything, but one thing you can never have too much of is strawberries. So I'm thinking of loading this whole thing full of strawberries. Strawberry plants don't need any support at all, and just go with that. Now I'm going to show you a little bit more about the Iharvest. So I'm going to get the camera up and close, and we're going to check this thing out. Well, here's the back side of the unit. So what you can happen with this unit, you can get some nutrients built up along these creases here. You can see how flimsy this material is. At least it doesn't leak outside of the unit, so you don't really have to worry about it getting on your floor. I just don't like the build quality of it. Now on this bottom layer here, it looks fine right now because there's no water in it. But here's what happens. You fill this unit with water, and this bows out like this. And then you always got this big old gap in here. So as long as you don't have light coming from the back side of the unit, it's not really a big concern. But man, the build quality shouldn't be like that. So I don't really care for that. I'm all about quality and not too sold on that part of with this unit. And here you can see how it does this sit flush up against the wall. You can see the unit. So it's a pretty good design. I would change some stuff for sure if I had a chance of designing a system. And let me know if you have any questions. Leave some comments, please. Have a good day.